Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to the live stream for IT project managers hosted by a seasoned IT project manager. Hello, my name is Mitro, and if you're joining here live with me, say hello in the chat somewhere below this video and tell me where you are joining from. So today we are talking about the best project management tool that I used for many years. And I will explain why this tool is one of the best options out there, how to use it. I will showcase some use cases, some capabilities that you might be interested in. And in the process, I'll explain some project management concepts as well. At the same time, like I would first question you to think about uh, how to define the best project management tool. What makes a great project management software? And in my opinion, the tool is great, is like one of the best tools in project area, project software, if it allows you to tailor your practical project management approach inside that tool. And that means that quite often your environment, your current project, your company will have some say in the selection of a tool. But the one that I'm going to show you today, it's a tool that I recommend, even if you use, for example, Jira or Azure DevOps right now. I recommend you still getting this tool as your personal productivity system because it may help you win back many hours by organizing your work, by allowing you a better way to manage your time, and so on. So, as I said, the best tool is the one that allows you to tailor project management approach inside this tool. And it means that whether you use Scrum, Kanban, or any other approach, you should be able to implement that, visualize that inside the tool. All right. So that's why for many years I've been using ClickUp. And I will say right away that I'm affiliated with ClickUp, which means like if I'm promoting them and you use my link, which is by the way in the description, I will get some commission, but you will not pay anything extra for that. At the same time, I would say that while I'll describe the features and I will talk about project management capabilities of the tool, you need to understand that any tool will be as powerful as your project management knowledge and skills. So the tool is just a calculator. It has no brains, it has some AI capabilities, but it will do what you ask it to do. That's why I would say that if you want to make the most use out of any tool, be that Jira, Azure DevOps, ClickUp, Trello, whatever, you need to understand the project management concepts that developers embedded inside that tool. So, for example, if we talk about Jira, it's purely structured around Scrum, Kanban, and like general collaboration. If we talk about MS Project, it's a plan-driven tool, so it's basically tailored around these PMIs approaches that you learned in the PMP certifications. While ClickUp is more tailored around best productivity tips and tricks and strategies, and it allows you to build any structure, any project management framework, any productivity framework inside it. And as a result, it's so flexible that it's one tool that like rule them all. And you can build anything there. And I'll show you that right now. But before we jump in, I strongly recommend that you guys, if you want to understand better what we'll be talking about, how to use this tool, why these principles work, you also get the professional development plan. You can scan the barcode or use the link in the description, and it will give you access to multiple resources on project management that we'll be discussing today. as concepts that we implement inside this tool. All right, without further ado, let's jump in. And I'll be showing my real instance here. I'll be showing you how I use the tool. So here we go. Well, there are a lot, all right, at the screen. You can see that as many tools here, it has a sidebar. This is your navigation sidebar that you will use to go around the projects. And the main area is in ClickUp is a space, which is in our terms it would be a project. There might be a higher level or organization, like you can have workspaces inside, like treated as organizations, but basically you will start inside the workspace and you will have spaces, and these spaces will be your projects. So that's one way to organize your work. You will have a list of projects at the top level. But in my case, I use it for my personal productivity. And I use a para method created by Tiago Forte as a second brain. And uh, I structure my projects by areas, like projects, areas, resources, and archive. But I tailored it to my needs because I do a lot of YouTube stuff. I have my mentorship programs. Therefore, I have an extensive content plan here, which is basically another area for projects. So this is one thing. And you can have here like projects, then inside those projects, you will have your lists of tasks, your deliverables, or your sprints. So the tool allows you to implement either Kanban approach or Scrum or any plan-driven approach that you know. So first of all, let's just go inside the lowest level entities. And here we use tasks. And tasks in themselves are super powerful because you have a very strong text editor, so you basically can do a lot of stuff inside task description. You can create tables, you can create checklist, columns, headings, documents. So this is a very powerful text editor tool right here, built inside any task. Obviously, you have some statuses, and you can customize those statuses. We'll talk about it in a second. Due dates, tags, assignees, priorities, relationships, and so on. But what's interesting here is that you can actually have a lot of levels of complications of complexity inside this task. So what I like here is that on the one hand, you can have your checklists, like you can create tasks with checklists, with to-do lists for people to follow for maybe some smaller, more simpler cases. But you can create subtasks as well. So for example, if you want to be very organized, you will create subtask and you can assign subtasks to different team members. So like that. And subtasks are actually like almost the same as tasks in general behavior. They have their own descriptions, they have their own fields, so they are just one level lower in the hierarchy. Here's the thing that sells for me, for example, this tool as one of the most powerful tools. So for example, you can imagine that you write some kind of template here in terms of description. So what should it be? For example, a test case or a defect. So you will create some headers, for example, as environment. Then you'll have, oops, I need to spell correctly. Environment, then steps to reproduce. I don't know why I have. Okay. Actual result. and expected result. And once you create like a format for a task or even certain type of task, you can save it as a template. So basically, you can write it once, structure it once, agree with the team, and then save it. And you can go in this section, templates, and create a new template. And this is so powerful because if you have recurring tasks or tasks of similar nature, if you do things like software development, testing, defects tracking, you can create your own templates. You shouldn't be like uh, limited by what, for example, Jira provides. You can easily customize all this. You can easily save. You can easily edit all these templates. And in general, if we're talking about templates here, almost everything that you create inside ClickUp can be transformed into a template. So, for example, you may have a template of task, you can have a template of a list of tasks, you can have a template like the whole folder, and maybe even the whole space as a template. And this allows you to quickly create similar in nature, similar like in structure tasks and activities. Things like, for example, if you want to create some workflows, documentation, you can do it like in tasks, templatize them, and whenever you need to ask your team to use or perform the same activity again, then you just click one button, create a task. So uh, that's one of the most powerful abilities that you can have because you don't want to reinvent the wheel. And at the same time, you don't want to be constrained by what developers provided you with outside, like inside the box, like in Jira or any other tool. Now, that's one thing, one feature which makes this very customizable, very uh, flexible to any project management approach that you might have. After that, you need to start applying some, I should say, project management concepts and understand, okay, how do I structure my projects? So if this is the top level demo project here, then in folders, I can organize my deliverables. So there might be a folder for deliverables, and each deliverable will be described by the tasks required to perform the deliverable. You may track defects, test cases all in one place there. You may have another folder. So in this case, I have milestones to show you some cool features, but we also can create right here documents. So if you do software development and you have some complex requirements that you want to capture, you don't go outside of the tool to create a Google Doc or email and write it somewhere externally. You can create these documents right here. And again, you can either use templates or you can create a wiki page separately. So again, a lot of ways to do the same stuff in different ways. And again, you can create a folder, put all the requirements into the folder, or put all your workflows, put all the documentation about the project. For example, project chart, your requirements traceability metrics, some important documentation, and so on. And obviously, like when you write anything here, you can embed a lot of stuff like Google Docs, Google Sheets right here, and almost anything that allows you to embed a view or even a website. So you can already imagine that you can build in one space, you can build out the whole structure of a project. So one folder for documentation, one folder for the work, the actual deliverables that you need to create, and create a work breakdown structure inside. And then there might be one folder for test cases. There might be one folder for uh, like whatever you name it, you can have it here. You can have folders as your releases, and you can structure your scope of work inside those folders for releases. So again, the capabilities here are limitless. And from one side, this is a benefit, but on the other side, again, this brings me to an important critical point that because it gives you so much power, you need to understand what you are going to build in this tool more than any other tool. So, for example, Jira, it's much more forgiving in terms of your knowledge and skills, because it will guide you into either Scrum or Kanban, and you cannot fail there easily. There are a lot of rails and guardrails that will keep you inside the Scrum or Kanban framework. But here you can implement whatever approach you want in any structure that you want. But while it's again a complex thing, it allows you to keep everything, absolutely everything, inside the tool. And this is just a tip of an iceberg, because there are a lot of built-in features that I'm pretty sure the guys behind ClickUp, the developers, the product owners, they explored, communicated, and did a lot of market research, because they provided us here with a lot of capabilities. So now imagine that you have your projects here, and at the very basic level, if you create either folder with deliverables or milestones for your project based on deliverables. Again, you can set start end dates, priorities, all this stuff. You get the dashboard, the progress dashboard out of the box. You can customize this thing a bit. You can create your own dashboard. You can add a lot of widgets here. But basically, every entity that you see on this sidebar, on this left-hand side, it has a dashboard. So I can go from a folder to a whole project, and this whole project will now have its own dashboard, summarizing everything below. And again, you can customize it. If you structure it well, you will see the whole, for example, list of deliverables here and progress of these deliverables, and so on. So that's one thing. Another thing is that you have a lot of ways to display the same information. That's something I like a lot. Because if you think about it, a lot of tools under the hood, they are like spreadsheets. This is just a data that you input, and then it's all a database, and you just visualize it in multiple ways. Jira is the same. Microsoft Project is the same. This tool is also the same. So you have your tasks with traits, and then you visualize them in multiple ways. So, for example, in this case, we may have just a list of tasks. So if we have projects or deliverables, and you will have all the lists, all the data here that you need, and all in one way, organized as plain or hierarchical list. Then you have board. If you use Kanban, this is like out of the box Kanban board. You can again customize all the statuses. You can do a lot of stuff here. At the same time, you have Gantt chart. By the way, maybe that's the only weak spot that I personally don't like here. Gantt chart is very rudimentary, but I would use it. Still, I would use it for like a software development project or IT project when I need a roadmap. Definitely, I will not use it for anything low level, like in a mass project or similar tools where you can drill down and work with tasks on a Gantt chart directly. But anyways, you have the capability to do simple roadmaps, map them out, set up dependencies, show milestones, all these good capabilities that you usually need, not so much to use it on daily basis to run a project, rather than to report and visualize the progress. After that, you can see that there are actually many ways you can use the same information. For example, table view. Here you can add more custom fields to the tasks, like priority, set up due dates, assign people, do all the organization on different levels. And again, remember that you can have this table view on different levels, and you may get like full project breakdown to see the big picture of all tasks, all dependencies, all the costs, for example. And you can go drill down into a folder, which might be a phase of the project, for example, and you will see all the estimates or all the risks, all the tasks related to that folder only. Now, there are many other views, like you can add a doc. So imagine that you have a folder with tasks, with test cases, and there will be a master document that describes what we're doing in a sprint. Or it will be a master document for the sprint in terms of, okay, there will be a goal, there will be major dates, there will be lessons learned, notes from retrospective, and each sprint will have such information right here, right at the same level of organization. You don't need to go to Confluence to find the document which you need to edit. Now, what else? There are dashboards for each and every entity, like a higher level entity. For folders and projects, you can create a separate dashboard to track different stuff. There is a timeline, which is even more simplified Gantt chart, I would say. And there are cool stuff like whiteboards. This is another place where ClickUp substitutes another external tool. So for many years, I've been using tools like diagram.ao, I think. But now I do a lot of diagrams here inside ClickUp, because you can do like basic diagrams right away. By the way, there are templates that you can use as a starting point. This is always a great asset to have. So, for example, competitive analysis, I don't know, sprint timeline, delegate, okay, charts, hierarchical charts. You can do, I would say the most important application is that you can do it here, and you can create your, for example, architecture diagrams without going somewhere else. You can export them, show them here, all in one place. What else you can have here? You can have your charts as well. Like, you can communicate on a task level at any place. If you go here, you will have your normal commands, which you have in Jira, which you have in many other tools. But in ClickUp, we have both comments and chat that you can place either on top of the whole, I would say, the whole workspace, so that you can communicate in general, or you can have chats inside specific projects, and I think even folders. As I'm like just a team of 1 or 2, we don't use chats too much. All right, next, there are things. I'm going to show you something that I actually use and how I use it now. So basically what we discuss here is the functionality. And again, we can implement it in different ways. So, for example, if you're asking, how do I manage this YouTube channel, my mentorship programs, how do I keep track of everything that I need to create, write, send, and so on and so on? Actually, this is the way. This is my content plan where you have my YouTube videos, my YouTube lives, uh, posts, everything in one place. But for me, organization is much better if you go into calendar view, and this allows you to see a big picture of your work day by day if you plan it out correctly. So in my case, everything on this calendar view represents some piece of content. Uh, you can see, for example, here's our YouTube live that we're currently running. Not so much description here, but basically there were some subtasks that I did prior to this live stream. Create thumbnail, create this live stream, create slides, in this case, just presentation of my ClickUp, and 2 email invites, you most probably got them, everything here. And by the way, this is a template. I don't create these subtasks every time. I have a template, one click for the next live stream. I change the dates, I change the title, and we work on it time and time again. Then, for example, okay, this is a task. I know it was done and we'll complete it right away. The replace for my coaching program, mentorship program, were published in our members area, so we can close it. And this is like one modality how to organize a lot of tasks and see what's the top priority for today. Another way that I use, I have two different ways. So I see the tasks for this week, which I need to do. And this is like I'm going ahead of the curve, so I finished most of the tasks. But also I can have the next week tasks, and I will have I can see what I need to do for the next week to ensure that again everything is published. You get your videos on time, you get your emails on time, you get the live stream set up. These are just a filtered way or filtered view of tasks that are next week. So you can set it up like I did with filters, list view, but only with tasks that or content pieces that have published data next week. So I'm showing you this just to trigger your creativity, and you can start thinking about how you can imagine this work for yourself, because you can go either very detailed and plan out your daily work, or you can use the same capabilities to plan out your whole year and have just high level activities that you want to pursue during that year. Now, there are many other ways that you can view one and the same information. But most importantly, which I like, I will show you it a bit in a different way. So there is another part of ClickUp where you can get into predefined areas, and this is where like top productivity recommendations or systems or frameworks get to actual like implementation. And I can tell you that I read, I don't know, maybe dozen, maybe 2 dozens of books on productivity. And I can see this framework right here. So if you, for example, want one recommendation to improve your productivity, read the book that's called One Thing. You can easily find it on Amazon. It's very popular. So what we have here is a customize. You can customize this view, your home page, with cards, with different cards that they provide you, but basically you don't want to overcomplicate it. On this right hand side, you have your calendar, and you can integrate it with Google Calendar or Outlook Calendar and enable the events to appear here. So today I have a relatively unscheduled day, but I have more meetings. And you can imagine here that you will have meetings. Maybe I can quickly go back. So yeah, Wednesday was a busy day because I had a lot of coaching calls in my mentorship programs with people, and these were the view from the calendar showing me the main events. Now, the big idea here is that you can take your tasks and put them into calendar, and you can plan your whole day like this. So you know your meetings at least one day ahead. You wake up, start your day in the morning, look at your calendar, and look at your work, my work, things that either overdue or things that are planned for today. And then you start planning out your whole day, like assigning just one task at a time. So for example, if you want this to be done after this meeting, okay, this is the live stream for today, and so on. And then some overdue tasks or next tasks based on the due dates. And the third element here, super powerful. If you are like many project managers, you have a long list of to-dos, and you need somehow to prioritize, to focus yourself and force yourself to implement the most impactful things for the day. And you can drag some tasks into your lineup. There are multiple ways you can use this, but the whole idea is that you can select up to 3 tasks or maybe more, and this will be top priority for you. And until you do it, you will not go into my work, most probably. If you follow my advice, you won't go into many meetings in the morning. And until you do all that on your lineup, you will not go into these trivial tasks, which are not important, which don't move your project any further. All right. So by the way, if you guys just joining, this application is called ClickUp. There is a link in the description below this video. I recommend that you give it a try, because this is a top productivity tool, even if you use it as a standalone, as an addition to whatever you use on a project. Yes, Victor, that's a ClickUp. We're talking about this tool's main capabilities right now. So again, your home screen is your ability to plan the most important work around the meetings, around the events that you have during a day. So next, what we have is that if you set up your lineup and if you work with a team inside ClickUp, then, for example, I assume you're a manager, you can go to any team member and you can see what's on their lineup. So basically, if you follow my recommendations, you don't micromanage people. Instead, you empower them and you just guide them on priorities and explain their impact. So you will go in the morning, you will teach them, but first of all, you'll teach them how to use this one thing approach, where you select 1, 2, or 3 big things for a day and focus on those things before spreading your energy on something else. And they will select tasks in their lineup, and you can review them one by one. And if needed, you can align their priorities. Or you can go another route. For example, you have sprints, you have main pieces of work already planned out. You as a manager can push a task to someone's lineup. I think you can do it somewhere here. But basically, this allows you to set the top priority or expedite the work for other team members without going into meetings, into charts, or anything like that. All right. So all it takes for you here to go and plan out your day in the morning, then follow your plan. Ideally, like in my case, what I like to do, I plan out my whole week. Then I go into just like from a calendar view of the whole month, I drill down to the view of a week, and then I plan the tasks, maybe take something from unscheduled and plan them during this week. This way, I know what I need to do every day without distracting myself or searching for something or distracting to do something else. All right, that's one thing. There are cool, a lot of cool stuff that you have in addition. Let me see if I can block this. And this user who talks about Bitcoin on project management channel. Yep. I hope he's gone. Right. So, what else do we have here? Clips. Yeah. This is another powerful tool that you basically need an external tool to have to capture clips of your screen with narration from you. And you can imagine, again, your QA team who capture the defects or ways to reproduce the defects in these short clips rather than writing out step by step what to do and what the actual result looks like. You can quickly click the create clip, select the screen that you want to share, and speak through the actions. Likewise, you can use this functionality, for example, to create standard operational procedures just by showing how to use a tool. For example, how to use ClickUp, how to use the home screen for your team members. Rather than like showing them one by one, you can create clips and use them as your documentation for the tool. So again, whiteboards, I quickly show them to you, but basically, yes, you can create whiteboards yourself here. Next, we have goals. I'm not going to click this link because you will see my financial goals here. So sorry, but basically you can create and track goals either on monetary value, on some count value, percentage value. So super powerful if you want to, for example, create some OKRs or KPIs for the team. You can do it with goals. I think another powerful tool built into ClickUp, which also requires you to have another external system or external tool, is the timesheets. So people can create their timesheets themselves, create tasks, and assign how much time they spent on those tasks, and see whether they are billable or not, whether they have some notes, what was done, why it was done, why it took so much time. All of that can be tracked here, then exported, and you can basically get the whole view of the work of your team. Even if you don't create these timesheets for the purpose of charging or billing customers, clients, or vendors, you can still use it for tracking time on the tasks. So you can kind of see how many hours, how many days people spend on specific tasks, on specific tasks compared to the planned estimates. All right. Now, what else? I think this covers the main functionality. Definitely, you have your inbox with notifications, and all the mentions, all the comments that you get, they also will pop up here. One powerful thing that ClickUp also has, and it's basically allows you to ditch even your Gmail account, is that you can write emails from ClickUp. So you can write an email from any task. If you set up the functionality, you can use your email, you can send it directly from comments, ask questions, get responses right here, and then put them into description. And you can imagine a lot of cases where you have external client or vendor or subject matter expert. They don't get access to ClickUp, so you write an email to them to ask some requirements, clarifications. They answer it back to you. And in normal life, you will have to go and copy and paste it from Gmail into your project management tool. And this allows you to avoid these unnecessary steps. All right. This is one more thing that I like. Now, again, one thing that I don't like, for example, about Jira, and I want to mention here, is that Jira is very task or user story oriented, and therefore it doesn't allow you to easily create something else. But you can kind of transcend through the idea of just tasks in a task tracking system. You can imagine again this whole thing as a spreadsheet, and then if you have this mindset shift, you can understand that any list here, any project here can be a database, and you can like use it for simple calculations and simple tools that you use inside ClickUp. So, for example, a list of tools that I use, their costs, and with some simple built-in capabilities, I can get the summary of all of them, when they charge, when the invoices come, and so on. You can have the same for your documentation, for your ideas, for customers, for stakeholder register. By the way, you can create a private area here, a private space. Inside that space, you can create a list with your stakeholders, add custom fields, and you will get, as a result, your stakeholder register right here, right at the same place. One thing that, by the way, I didn't mention is that you can create custom types of tasks. So again, another level of customization. Everything can be tasks, but if you want to be fancy and you want to differentiate between tasks and email. So in my case, I have a special task type, which is an email. And whenever you create an email, it has a template inside it, which structures and like prompts you to provide the required information into it. So another way to tweak and customize your approach. Now I see the comment here that, okay, I've started to use ClickUp, but it became very polluted with buttons and links everywhere. And that's kind of true. If you start using almost all the functionality, it will be overwhelming. That's why the better approach is to start as small as possible and like remove everything that you don't actually use. Things like, okay, timesheets, I don't use timesheets. Goals, I do use goals, but I don't use them so often to have them here. Dashboards, I don't use dashboards as well. Let's remove them. And step by step, you can remove all unnecessary stuff from here and keep only the things that you need. And again, if you go into this like start creating any kind of spaces or any entities here, you can notice that you have a lot of options. You can customize your default views. Okay, if you don't use boards or maps, just turn them off, or don't use them, or don't give this option to the team to use the boards. Likewise, statuses. Just because you can customize status and create whatever kind of workflow you want, it doesn't mean you should do that. You can keep the most simplistic to do done states or to do in progress done states, and that's all that it takes. So another customization option, and this is called ClickUps. So inside ClickUp, you have multiple additional tools that you can enable or disable. And again, if you don't use it, if you don't use them, if you don't want to use them, things like sprints, sprint points, work in progress limits, just turn them off. If you don't use emails, turn them off, and this functionality will disappear from your view. Time tracking, again, if you are not using it, turn it off for the whole spaces. You don't need it. And you got the point. It's all customizable. You can start with, like, you can use ClickUp as just a simple to-do list, or lists of to-do lists, and you will have just two statuses for each task, maybe due dates, and that's all. Or you can go and implement the whole project management approach here with hybrid project management approach with phases. So you will structure your spaces either as projects or as big phases if you use this on your own. And then you will have phases that you use with plan-driven ideas, and then there will be execution phases with Scrum, and you can combine it all together here. Maybe I will repeat myself, but you can customize ClickUp on any level. You can have different lists or different folders customized with different statuses and different workflows and different fields. So each entity that you have here can be different, or it can be the same. So it's kind of up to you. All right. So with that said, should you use ClickUp? If you want to improve your productivity, I would say you don't need all these complications. And if you are using it for yourself, I would recommend that you start with a simple structure. And following Para method by Tiago Forte, by the way, is one of the best productivity frameworks that I tried. It's the only one which stays with me for many years. All the others came and go, and this one stays. And if you don't know what is Para method and what is the second brain by Tiago Forte, this is the idea of organizing your digital assets in one and the same way. So the idea is the following. As you can see, I have these projects, areas, resources, and archives. And I have this similar structure of my Google Drive and my folders. So I have a folder with projects. And it means that there are similar folders there for this project. So here I have tasks, notes, and everything related to this project. But in my Google Drive, I have a similar folder with, for example, links and tracking. And there I have all the files and documents that I need. You can organize your email the same way. You can organize a lot of stuff. And once you have this structure, you always know where to look at, and it's very easy to find the required pieces for specific project area or resource. If you Google Tiago Forte Para method, you will find a lot of videos there. So that's a great approach for your personal productivity. And after that, by the way, one key maybe feature that I used a lot which I like to use. So, for example, I am sitting on a meeting and I'm talking with people, and I have my home screen front and center for me. And someone says, "Okay, hey Dmitro, you need to do. Can you send me the file?" And usually you will do this like after that you take notes and follow up. And here I can just click a shortcut. In my case, it's R, and I can create a reminder. So send files. Boom. You quickly created a reminder, a simple task for yourself. You don't need to fill out any fields. You don't need to go to specific folder. You just capture quickly all the action items. And later you can either perform these tasks very fast, like if it's a 2-minute task, you know the 2-minute rule, you can do it right away, close it, or delegate it to another person and close it, or you can transform it into a list. So again, if it's something bigger and you want to add it as a scope of work to the project, you'll just transform this reminder to a normal task. And again, there are a lot of similar stuff that you can do here. For example, you can take notes. Oops, it's a documents, and notes are, I don't have enabled. As you can see, there are a lot of widgets. All right, my tasks, notepad here. You can take notes, write, for example, meeting notes for the meeting, and then you can transform it into a document, into a task, whatever. So multiple ways to capture tasks on the fly, so that you don't need to go back, exit to another tool, then move it inside the. So, for example, you heard something on a meeting. Someone created meeting notes for you. You still need to open your Google Drive tools to copy the meeting notes, create your tasks. This is super inefficient. In this case, you can do it right away in this tool. All right, guys, this is basically what I wanted to show you about ClickUp. There are a lot of capabilities that you can explore. Again, there is a link below this video. I recommend that you give it a try because it can substitute a lot of things for you. I used it for many years when I worked as a project manager, when I led my projects. I kept here all my notes, all my commitments that are outside of normal Jira work that the team does, and I planned my weeks and days following the same simple process, where you have your meetings, your tasks, and you either plan out the whole day or you plan out the 3 big tasks most important for the project, and you focus on them, and then you leave the rest of the day. Okay, as you can see, I've been talking a lot, showing a lot of stuff, but the idea was to give you the overview, maybe like trigger your creativity a bit and try to use it. If you have a chance to select a tool and run a project inside ClickUp, again, I would recommend that because you can save a lot of time by having everything in one place. In my career, I had to do a lot of artificial things to ensure that the whole project information, the whole knowledge set of the project was inside one tool. It's very difficult. And ClickUp allows you natively to store all this information right away. And last but not least, again, you need to understand that this project management tool will be only as powerful as your project management knowledge and understanding. We talked about deliverables, for example, and milestones. That means that you need to understand what a work breakdown structure is, how to identify deliverables, how to describe them. And if you want to improve your project management skills, you can take this professional development plan, scan the barcode, or go to the link. It's also below the video. And you will get access to a lot of templates, a lot of resources that will help you become a better project manager. All right, with that said, thanks for tuning in, and I hope to see you next time on the next live stream, and I'll talk to you there. Thanks for watching.